Yeah, and I'm really hoping to finish Pheonix right now. Yeah, okay, not the entire game, but I'm not playing the entire game. And that has already been decided. What's left is to decide this court trial. The trial of Will Powers, who we've already more or less conclusively proved couldn't have done the thing. D. Vasquez, I'm a producer for Global Studios. You were in Studio 2? Yes. I dislike needless banter. If you must pontificate, do it when I'm not here. Very well, give your testimony. I entered the trailer a little before noon. The meeting began at 12 sharp. It ended at 4. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. At 2:30, we took a 15-minute break in the meeting. Sal and I ate T-bone steaks on the table in front of the trailer, which seems unlikely since there's no bones, but I don't know if I'm reading too much into that. Found Hammer's body later when we all went to Studio 1. There's a van at Studio 2. I had Sal take me to the studio in that. Thought it might be risky to walk, what with the monkey's head toppling over. There was going to be another rehearsal after. She committed murder during that time. She wouldn't have had time to eat a T-bone steak. If I had some evidence that proved that she didn't eat the steak. Fuck it, I'm just gonna press everything. Pressing everything doesn't cost you anything, even if it's wrong. So. No one leave during the meeting. No one. Desk slapping. I'm presenting this because it proves that T-bone steaks have large bones, and the plates at Studio 2 didn't have bones, even though I don't have evidence for that. I say you did not eat a T-bone steak. Look at this. It's a plate. This plate was on the table in the employee area. As you can see, a large bone has been left behind. It was a T-bone steak. Like, we don't even have evidence of this in our, like, evidence cartel, so we're just telling this. Yet there were no bones left on the plates. The plates were bare. Ms. Vasquez, tell me, how can a person eat a T-bone steak and not leave the bone? I think I know how. You ate the bone too. You didn't eat the steak. You didn't eat any steak during that break. You took your steak and threw it somewhere like that incinerator. Then what was she doing on her break? Meeting the Steel Samurai. As Miss Vasquez left the trailer to eat her steak, she ran to the Steel Samurai, and then you did it. You killed him with your own hands. Isn't that a little presumptuous? Ah! Just dropped condensation on myself. What kind of stunt are you trying to pull, Mr. Wright? Let him claim what he wants. You say I did it? Yes. Fascinating. And here I was worrying that today would be as boring as all the rest. Very well. Let us have a battle of wits, you and I. Let's see. What was that murder weapon again? Oh yes, the samurai spear. Yeah, I decided to do a voice now. I am, as you can see, a woman of petite stature. How could I possibly use that heavy spear as a weapon? Because it was broken, so she could just use the broken tip to do with the stabby stab. But hilariously, I don't know which of these is the answer. I think you could because it was broken and you could do the stabby stab. You couldn't, could you? Which is why you used the broken tip for the stabby stab, and I don't know. I'm going with the middle one. I think you would have had a great deal of difficulty using that as a weapon. Anyone would. Huh, you see? I gotta stop moving. I'm sorry for my chair. My chair likes to make its opinions known. That has no bearing on this case. Meaning? The samurai spear was not the murder weapon. What? The spear was found lying next to the victim's body. I have proof, Your Honor. I can prove that the samurai spear was not used as a murder weapon because it's broken. Is the murder weapon not so fast? This spear broke during the morning action scene run-through. Someone fixed the spear. It was the security lady. She fixed it with duct tape. How is it possible for someone to stab a man who is wearing a thick costume with this, through the chest? Silence. I'm the one testifying here, and I will be heard. Are you quite sane? Are you even aware of what you're saying? If the samurai spear was not the murder weapon, then pray tell what was. Ah! How was Hammer killed? Can you tell us with what weapon was used to kill Mr. Hammer? Sure. Would I make a claim like that if I couldn't tell you what the weapon was? The fence thing? Look at this photo. What is this? That's Jackhammer standing at the top of the stairs. If I can't have order, this trial will be suspended, except there's a rule that says that it has to be concluded in 3 days, so how can they suspend it? Nailed you. I don't know what I'm doing. This photograph is from 5 years ago. There was an unfortunate accident. This is a photo of the accident. Not a word of this was leaked outside. It was close-cut secret at the studio. What's it have to do with the current case? You still can't see it? See the fallen man in the photo. See how the fence post pierced him through the chest. What happened 5 years ago has happened again. It's 2:30 p.m. on the day of the murder. Misty Vasquez meets Jackhammer outside the Studio 2 trailer. Then she did it. She pushed Mr. Hammer off the stairs and onto the fence. Just like Mr. Hammer had done 5 years ago. But whether she did it on purpose or by accident, I cannot say. The victim, Mr. Hammer, died in the same way that he caused another man to die. 5 years ago. Ironic, hokey writing, whatever. Very creative, Mr. Wright. I could use a man like you on my script writing staff. You deny that it's true? Let's say, for the sake of argument, that Hammer died at the trailer, as you say. Yet the body was found at Studio 1, was it not? And in the evil magistrate's costume, no less. Are you then claiming that I carried the body to Studio 1 and returned to the trailer all in the space of a 15-minute break? How could I have disposed of the body? The break in the meeting at the trailer lasted 15 minutes from 2:30 to 2:45. Could Jackhammer have been pushed off the stairs to his death, carried to Studio 1, and placed inside his costume? There wasn't enough time. How could she have dealt with the body? What's the difference between I bet she could move it and she had another way? Fuck you. What if she had another way to carry the body other than with her own hands? For instance... For that matter, there was no need for her to do it in 15 minutes. And there was a way for you to carry that body. Interesting. Let's hear it then. Show us how she carried the body. The van. You carried the body to Studio 1, and you used the studio van to do it. Recall your testimony. You used the van to carry the body to Studio 1. Before everyone else got there, you put the body into the magistrate's costume. It was Sal Manella that drove the van. Are you suggesting that Manella was a conspirator? Sure? I genuinely don't know. Body had to be placed in the van and put into the costume. There's no way Miss Vasquez could have done that alone. Also, don't forget they had to dispose of the Steel Samurai costume. They had to, because it was covered in Hammer's blood. They probably burned it in that small incinerator. Miss Vasquez, shall I continue? No need, you're smarter than you look. I lose, you win, it was fun. I win? What would you like me to say? I lost? Something like that? I just said that. D. Vasquez, so it was you. You killed Jackhammer. Who can say? Are you sure I did, Mr. Wright? We just engaged in a battle of wits. The result of the battle, you proved the possibility that I murdered Hammer. That is only a possibility. Proof is another thing altogether. You lack decisive proof, Mr. Wright. Your thoughts? Of course. It does seem very likely she did it, but there's no proof. I came here as a witness today. If you've no more questions, I'll be leaving. I'd like you to testify again. I can only say what I said before, the truth. I've already said all I had to say. What would happen if I said it again? You ask the same questions, get the same answers, waste of time. I was hoping to come up with a question while I was objecting. Your Honor, I request that the witness testify again. You are the prosecutor, are you not? Why are you badgering me? I'm your witness. I want to hear your testimony again. Does that make any sense to you, Your Honor? Indeed, verily I say, ergo. I want to hear about what happened after they found the body. Very well, the witness will testify to the court concerning this matter. Why did Edgeworth just help us? He probably realized that she did it too. I was with Sal and Old Bag, the security lady, when we found the body. The assistant was there too, only Powers was absent. I immediately called the police, then Powers showed up. The security lady, Old Bag, was quite agitated, pointing at Powers, saying he did it. I asked to be left out of the proceedings, went back to the trailer to get my script and direction notes, and went home. She may be acting tough now. Find the key you need to truth out of her. AKA, press everything she says, because it doesn't matter. When exactly did you arrive? Maybe 10 minutes before. I wasn't stuffing any bodies into costumes, mind you. Where were the other employees when you got to the studio? They weren't there yet. Well, then you could have put Hammer in the costume with someone else's help. Did I not just say I wasn't stuffing any bodies into costumes? Mr. Powers was taking a nap, so he says. Did no one go to call him? Remember, there's a dead body lying in front of us, yet you expect me to be calm. You seemed calm enough when I accused you of murder. Wouldn't that be the other way around? You discovered a murdered body and one person was missing. Wouldn't you normally go looking for the missing person? That seems ridiculous. Without his Steel Samurai costume, Powers doesn't really stand out. We often left him on the bus when shooting at location. No one noticed he was missing. Immediately called the police. What was everyone else doing? No one said a thing. It was silent, completely silent. We stood there until Powers finally arrived on the scene. Sorry, I'm late. Then silence, dead silence. Why is everyone so quiet? Someone should do something to lighten things up. Security lady was quite agitated, pointing at Powers, saying he did it. Why did the security lady think Powers had done it? She said because she saw him going towards the studio. Steel Samurai. Did the detective arrest Mr. Powers based solely on her word? Perhaps not. She seems to have given the detective that photograph. I heard about this after the fact. Photograph taken by the security camera. She was not known for exhibiting the best of judgment when it comes to Hammer. You asked to be left out? Yes, it seems that everyone else was questioned. I'm really not fond of that sort of thing. You can't just decide who the police will and won't question. Thankfully, this studio thinks otherwise. They were nice enough to understand that since we were in a meeting, there was no way we could be involved. Thus, they covered for us. Covered for you or covered it up for you? I'm sure her professionals helped convince everyone that she didn't need questioning. Went back to the trailer to get my script. Script and your direction notes. They're quite valuable. I wouldn't do to have them stolen. Wasn't the script in Studio 1? Thought you came to Studio 1 for a rehearsal. You didn't bring your script and notes. I was under the impression that we wouldn't be able to rehearse anything. Why? Because there was a murder. I think of rehearsing after that. Yeah, thank you, Edgeworth. Ms. Vasquez said she didn't need the script because there wouldn't be a rehearsal. Don't you see what that means? She would have had to know about the murder before going to Studio 1. So now when I do notice something, they're giving it to Edgeworth, too. I find it hard to understand why the prosecution would say this. Are you thinking of changing to defense? I appreciate the concern. I stand by my statement regardless of how the court sees my role here. Ms. Vasquez, do you have an explanation? The prosecution is in cahoots with the defense. What kind of court is this? No matter. I think you misunderstood me. I had a perfectly good reason to believe there would be no rehearsal. I knew that Hammer was injured and couldn't do any action scenes, so I left them behind. How did you know about the injury? How did I know? Sal, he told me. Sal, the director. See, now I'm queuing shit like a second time around. Specifically because last time there was a case where like if you had to press 1 and then go back and press 1 again. So probably was supposed to press one of those ones that I didn't press. God, this is so... This is what playing this game is like. Clicky, 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 click. Oh, I can just hold mouse and it will like slowly go through. Oh my god, it's gonna go through this whole thing again. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I can't even think of any evidence that makes sense for this. Why was the security lady there when they found the body? Alright, cheating again. Oh, fuck. I'm a dumb. Hammer was injured. It wasn't Hammer, it was the other dude. You knew that Hammer was injured. It was the Steel Samurai who was injured. It was Will Powers. Mr. Hammer is dragging his leg in this photo, but that's because he was pretending to be Mr. Powers. One person was injured in the run-through this morning. That person was Mr. Powers, not Mr. Hammer. Why did you think it was Mr. Hammer who was injured? I already said it was Sal who told me. He must have gotten it wrong. I think not. Mr. Manella was at the run-through that morning. He would have known it was Mr. Powers who was injured. He saw it happen. Why would he tell you the wrong person? Miss Vasquez, you saw Hammer limping. You didn't hear anything from Mr. Manella. You saw Hammer limping with your own eyes. Wasn't it Powers who was injured? But remember, Mr. Hammer was dragging his leg too. He was pretending to be Mr. Powers. And when was he doing this? It would have to be after he put on the Steel Samurai costume and went to Studio 2 where he was murdered. Exactly. Miss Vasquez, you met him, didn't you? You saw the Steel Samurai limping. And Mr. Hammer was in the Steel Samurai suit. That's why you were confused. That's why you thought it was Mr. Hammer who'd been injured in the morning. Can you refute this claim? Very well. I have a question for you. Why in the world would I want Mr. Hammer dead? Yes, he'd fallen on hard times, but he was a star. I had nothing to gain from his death. Nothing. You would need a motive. Why would she have killed the victim? If there is a reason, it is unclear to the court. Does the defense have anything to say? Can you prove she has a motive? I mean, what if she doesn't have a motive? She just thought it was the other guy. That's what I don't know about. Whatever. We can always prove everything, even if we don't know what the proof is. That must be her with short hair, right? I mean, it's the only thing that even remotely makes sense. She doesn't know this kid. She wasn't involved with the monkey. Here's physical evidence. This photo reveals the motive in this murder. I'm right, aren't I? 5 years ago, Mr. Hammer was at the height of his fame. With Dee Vasquez's help, a terrible accident was swept under the carpet. Ladies and gentlemen, the case currently up for trial began on that day 5 years ago. The accident that precipitated Mr. Hammer's fall, his fall from stardom. You used Mr. Hammer. You made him work for you for petty change. Bringing us to the present day and his last role as evil magic. Oh my god, is Edgeworth like a big Steel Samurai fan? Yes, undoubtedly it was a constant source of shame for the ex-star. You're talking about motives, but you've only talked about Hammer. Almost seems as if it was Mr. Hammer who had killed Dee Vasquez, not the other way around. What motive would Miss Vasquez have? According to what you say, I have no reason to kill Hammer. He was a good source of income for me. And I never get rid of useful men. It's a policy of mine. Please explain Miss Vasquez's motive for murder. Was she just protecting herself? She had no motive, Your Honor. It was Mr. Hammer who was out for blood. All Miss Vasquez did was push him off the stairs in self-defense. It's simple. Mr. Hammer was intending to kill Miss Vasquez. What? Your Honor, Jack Hammer drugged Mr. Powers with sleeping pills. Jack Hammer snuck into the dressing room and stole the Steel Samurai costume. Jack Hammer wore the costume to fool the security lady into thinking he was Powers. Then Jack Hammer made his way to the trailer. And for what purpose, you ask? To kill Dee Vasquez, who had so cruelly taken advantage of him all those years. You did do it, didn't you? Yes, I'm guilty. It was me. Someone call an ambulance. There's blood everywhere. We're too late. Ah, Miss Vasquez. What happened here? Manuel fell from the trailer stairs. Manuel, Miss Vasquez, please try to remain calm. No, how could you do that? It was an accident. Manuel, don't touch him. No. Don't die, please. Ow. Congratulations, Mr. Wright. I lose again. Where's Steve Vasquez? In the waiting lobby. As calm and collected as ever. Mr. Wright, it appears you've brought about another miracle. Will Powers was innocent, that he should be found, so is only natural. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, not guilty. You know, I don't actually know, like, if you do something in self-defense, but then you, like, mess with the crime as if, like, you mess with the crime scene as if it was a murder, and you pin it on someone else. I'm not sure what, like, they would charge you with something, right? Like, even if it's just fucking with the scene. I don't know. I don't know what it is at that point. Does it become manslaughter because you, like, covered it up after? I don't know what to say. Thank you so much. I now know that Mr. Hammer stole my costume. It's bad enough that he wanted to kill Miss Vasquez, but to think he tried to frame me for the murder makes me sad. Why did Mr. Hammer want to blame me? Mr. Hammer wanted to put the blame on you because... you were the Steel Samurai. Mr. Hammer was a big star once, but he was reduced to acting in a kid's show and as the villain. Kids love Steel Samurai, and so he hated you. I would have changed places with him any time. I think you're missing the point. I'm just glad it's all over. I'll be able to don the Steel Samurai outfit once more. Something wrong. I'm not very good at small talk. You don't waste any time gloating. I really do want to thank you. Vasquez would have gotten away if you hadn't stepped in. Big fan of your work, Mr. Powers. I hadn't expected to meet you again after all these years. I would have been better had we not met. I'm saddled with unnecessary feelings. Unease and uncertainty. They only serve to get in my way. You listen to me. Don't show your face in front of me again. That's what I came here to tell you. That's the kind of line that launches 1,000 shippers. Was that guy your friend? Rivals for now. I'm missing something. What is it? So the curtain closed on another trial. I caused quite a stir by revealing the accident from 5 years ago. It was Tucktown. They rethought its programming change, went back to kids shows. With the Pink Princess. I didn't think they'd go through with it. You have to buy training cards too. I have to trade with Cody and the assistant. Power gets to play the lead again. Wonder if they'll show his real face this time. I don't think the world is ready for the real Will Powers. Again, he just kind of looks like Wolverine, so I don't see what the problem is. The end. No. No new episode. No new episode. No new episode. Nope, 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 no, 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 nope, 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 no, nope, 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 bye. Do I have, oh, I do have display capture on here. Ah, to-do list. Terrible, terrible to-do list. Where's Steam? Bum ba dum bum bum. Bum ba dum bum. Alright. You can like this video, subscribe for more, follow me on twitter.com/Orestria. Talk to me on the TDDC Discord. Let's see. I do intend to play more of the, what was it called? Dark Side Detective, because I was enjoying that. I have, I was gonna say I have my like seasonal impression video coming up, but I just remembered that this video is not gonna go live for a long time. So, hey, future people watching this, did I finish the Magica video yet or not? Assuming I've finished the seasonal impressions and the Madoka Magi, magical records, whatever, video. Up next, I do have some more anime videos in the pipeline. I'm going to assume, based on how busy I am at work, that I haven't released any of them before this video. But I do have a vacation week coming up, so who knows? Bye-bye. See you next time.